Hi, this is New Time on Silkway TV channel. We introduce you with the most visible news and important events that happens throughout this week in Kazakhstan and Central Asia. More details on politics, economy, social and cultural life with opinions from the most recognizable experts of Kazakhstan and world. I'm Ainuri Mangali and this is what you'll see today. Kazakhstan has an ambitious goal to become the aviation hub for Central Asia. We checked when it will become possible. Ecology sets to be a priority. The world has already faced dramatic changes. How the action plan should look like. An exclusive interview with the Nobel Peace Prize winner. Musical diplomacy. The renowned piano duo from Germany performed in Astana, saying special hellos to the audience of the New Time program. Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan aim to further expand the strategic partnership between the two countries based on mutual support and trust, as stated during their telephone conversation. The heads of state discussed prospects for deepening bilateral cooperation in trade and economic investment in cultural and humanitarian spheres, while also addressing topical issues of the international and regional agenda. Additionally, the parties exchanged views on the preparations for the 10th summit of the Organization of Turkic States, scheduled to take place in Astana in November. According to President Tokayev, this meeting will mark an important step towards the development of relations among Turkic countries. This week, the Organization of Turkic States celebrated its 14th anniversary. It was founded on October the 3rd back in 2009 under the name of the Turkic Council. Today, the member states are Kazakhstan, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan. We asked a Turkish expert on how our partners in Ankara see the future of the organization and what will be on the agenda of the upcoming summit in Astana.
Probably in the coming months and years, Turkey likes to tighten the ties between the member states and have much concrete steps in like energy corridors, transportation areas, space programs. Turkey will try to make it more concrete with bigger budgets and to go beyond consultation. Now many of those subfields of the Turkic states are consultative, but they are not permanent bodies, and probably Turkey will propose to make some of them as permanent bodies with a structure, with a building, with the personnel, etc. Yeah, to work more closely. But now it seems that there is some progress, and all those countries, the member states, and the people of those states, they are supporting this idea of having closer relations.
Next year, Shanghai Cooperation Organization member states plan to adopt a strategic document on strengthening cooperation in the field of energy. The strategy, initiated by Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, includes 6 sectoral areas of cooperation, such as oil and gas, electric and nuclear power, renewable energy, coal industry and energy efficiency. The parties plan to jointly train industry specialists to conduct scientific research and to share experience under the strategy adoption.
I believe that this approach will make it possible to respond more effectively to emerging challenges and successfully adapt the cooperation organization to modern challenges. I am confident that we will be able to successfully agree on this document in the interest of all member states for its further signing within the summit of SCO heads of state in Astana, slated for June 2024.
Energy cooperation as well as investment potential not only of Kazakhstan but the region as a whole was on the agenda of the Kaz Energy Forum, which took place this week in Kazakh capital. My colleague Kirsultan Zhantsita from Institute of World Economics and Politics has details and analysis of the most important events and topics related to Central Asia. Kirsultan, good evening and go ahead.
Thank you, Ainur. I will share my review of the most interesting news topics from Central Asia just in a moment. Regarding the Kazakh Energy Forum, we should note that Kazakhstan is a big player in the energy market on the world level, and revenues from the energy exports are a big portion of Kazakhstan's national budget. So we have a dilemma here. So another strategic goal is to go green and to switch to the alternative types of energy. Task for the Kazakhstan's government, for the national companies, is to keep the balance between the national budget, ecology, and sustainable development. This kind of tasks and targets were given straightly by the president of Kazakhstan, Mr. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev.
Kazakhstan ranks in the top 10 in terms of its importance. But for Kazakhstan, the question is, what is next? What are the key issues? And for Kazakhstan, of course, like everyone, one of their key issues is energy security. For Kazakhstan, what they want is they need diversity of export routes to get their energy out, and also diversity in terms of where they get to sell it to and so forth. Nobody wants to be dependent upon one anymore. Everybody's looking for diversity. The other story for everybody in the world now is, what do we do about the energy transition? As the world moves to cleaner energy, away from hydrocarbons and coal, what does this mean for Kazakhstan? After all, oil is their queen of exports. But I think that oil is going to be around for a long time, but it is going to be diminishing over time. And it means that renewables are going to be rising, and Kazakhstan is already part of that.
And Kazakhstan has a big potential to become the regional investment hub regarding all kinds of traditional and new types of energy. Traditionals are like oil and gas, and new types are rare metals, uranium, and green hydrogen. Also talking about investments, the leadership of Asian Infrastructure and Investment Bank have announced that the next meeting in 2024 will be held here in Central Asia, in the city of Samarkand in Uzbekistan. We should say that this is a clear signal that the region, the Central Asian region, is becoming more and more important, not only in the local level, but globally. I'd like to say that this is the continuation of the Chinese policy that was been announced during the ASEAN summit in May 2023, where around 50 billion of investments were being announced from the Chinese side, from Mr. Xi Jinping. Knowing that AIIB is one of the main instruments for the People's Republic of China, we see that more and more attention is given to the region, especially this kind of signals like next annual meeting here in Samarkand. The other topic is that the experts of IAEA are helping the government of Kazakhstan to find the proper place to build a nuclear plant. As President noted in his address to the people of Kazakhstan in September, the final decision about the construction of the nuclear plant will be made on the national referendum. So all the preparation stages are being done, but the decision is not made yet. That is all from my part. I now give floor back to you.
Thank you very much. Sultan Jansit from Institute of World Economics and Politics joined us with his analysis of the events in Central Asia this week. Kazakhstan demonstrates the high level of compliance with flight safety standards among the CIS countries. The figure is equal to 82% according to the data of the Kazakh Ministry of Industry and Infrastructure Development. That brings Kazakhstan to the same level with Denmark and Poland. Data suggest as well as show the stable growth of the local civil aviation industry. How do experts evaluate Kazakhstan's potential to become the biggest regional aviation hub? My colleague Baljan Samigulina tells more.
Today, Kazakh Airlines operate over 600 flights per week across 27 countries. The flights connect Kazakhstan to 8 CIS countries, 7 Middle Eastern, 7 Southeast Asian and 5 European, covering more than 100 routes. The plan for this year is to open 18 more international routes, 9 of them which have already been opened.
If we talk about specific statistics, at the end of the last year, we had passenger traffic, which exaggerated by 17% the previous year. If we look at the current period, 26 more passengers were transported within these 8 months than in the same period last year. So in this year, Kazakh Airlines transported more than 8.6 million passengers.
According to the National Transport and Logistics Development Concept, the main strategic goal of the industry is to ensure flight safety and create favorable conditions for the prosperity of transit potential. To fulfill it, earlier Kazakhstan introduced the open sky regime. It will allow foreign airlines to operate with a fifth degree of air freedom on roads where Kazakh airlines are not involved. This, as experts say, consequently encourages the growth of transit potential of Kazakhstan.
I think there's a lot of potential for the Kazakh aviation market to develop and indeed to play a major role in terms of Eurasia air traffic flows. It's down to its first geography, a very big country, 19 million people. It's down to the fact that so far still a lot of people are not using air transport in Kazakhstan. The propensity to fly, as we call it, is very low compared to other countries, which indicates there is a lot of potential for demand growth for air transport. And then, of course, I think it is an untapped tourism market. And added to this mix of positive factors, you have the new geopolitics, which I think are giving a new relevance potentially to the Kazakh aviation market.
According to the statistics, countries that adopted open sky mode experienced lower prices in the sector, enriched variety of routes, and choosing options for the clients, accelerating at the same time the growth in air transportation. The goal for Kazakhstan with open sky mode, which is being activated for at least 4 years more, is to boost its transit potential by connecting Europe and Asia. Baljan Samigulna, Nurali Khudaybergen, Silkway TV channel, Astana.
To discuss in particular the present and future of civil aviation in Kazakhstan, we invited the head of the aviation administration of our country, Katalin Radu, to our studio earlier this week. Please watch the fragment of the interview right now. Hello, Mr. Radu. Thanks for joining us today. So my first question is about aviation administration of Kazakhstan and its goals. So as we know, it has a very ambitious goal to make Kazakhstan a leader of civil aviation in Central Asia. So how do you exactly want to facilitate it to happen?
Thank you so much for the invitation. It's a real pleasure and honor to be here. Indeed, Kazakhstan represents the economic power of Central Asia right now, the first economic power of Central Asia, and we have all the prerogative and prerequisite to become also a power in civil aviation. And I'll start with the fact that we have a strong results in terms of international audits. International Civil Aviation Organization audited us, and we have the highest score in Central Asia. We also have a strong partnership with the international organization, with all the stakeholders of the aviation industry, and we are trying to build together this visibility and enhancement of Kazakhstan position in the region. We just created recently in May, it was the first aviation forum, Kazakhstan Aviation Forum, and one of the topics was how we can improve regional cooperation. And in this context, we already started an initiative called the Eurasian Civil Aviation Committee that will, for now, have 10 states participating in this. And this will facilitate the further development of regional cooperation and enhancement of our capability to be a leader.
As I know, the body itself, aviation administration, is quite new in Kazakhstan. It was set up nearly 4 years ago. So how do you think, how are you set up now to solve all the problems that we have in aviation industry?
So keep in mind that in the past, Kazakhstan used to be under sanctions, blacklist of European Commission, and significant safety concern of the ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization. And the decision to transform the civil aviation, to adopt the British model and to start with a new, fresh agency was a very wise decision. Also bringing leaders and experts from outside the world to lead and follow and implement the model here was a very good decision, because practically put a barrier between the political level and technical level, and can implement at a higher level the whole aviation structure, regulation and processes that are necessary to develop aviation. Keep in mind that we are a control and oversight agency, so practically in terms of bilateral relations, states are not looking at a certain airlines or airport, they're looking at the agency that oversee how aviation is done here. If I trust that agency of that country, then I sign a bilateral. That means that the level of safety, the level of security is the same or higher, and you can indeed start to connect with that particular country.
And you mentioned barriers. Can we say that now these barriers are being dropped?
We are working on this, because when we started, we had main challenges that put over the years in blacklist the Kazakhstan were lack of personnel, lack of training, and low level of capability to implement and supervise and oversee the control the industry. Practically, if in 2009 the aviation, civil aviation here had 32 persons, and I think only around 9 or 10 people involved in inspection. They were never going to verify on site what's happening, just taking the paper, verifying. Now we have almost 200 people on board, more than 150 inspectors in different areas, airport, aerodromes, and air navigation service provider, licensing, operation, and airworthiness. Practically now we are at the level where we can fulfill the international requirements, because those were also asked by ICAO, by European Commission, by FAA. So practically what we are putting in place, it's bringing us to that level that we want to
but what kind of actions are being done in this regard? I mean, on the perspective of safety of flights, because this is a priority.
I will start with what I said, personnel. In order to be able to oversee properly the industry, you need to have the trained personnel and professionals, experts that can manage the capability of an airline, of an airport to deal with.
So this is first and foremost.
This is the most important, to have the right personnel in place. For this, we put in place, since I came in 2022 in April, I put in place a new organigram that is fully aligned with international standards, EASA and ICAO strategic objectives. I also increased the remuneration packages, all the associated benefits that we need in order to attract good experts. I can tell you that when I came here, we had 3 or 4 positions open for more than 1.5 years. Nobody wanted to come to work in AAK. Now I open in February 55 positions, and for this 55 position, in 4 or 5 months, we occupy all this, and we had more than 400 applicants for this position, internal and from abroad. When European Commission, FAA, United States agency, or international bodies are coming to assess us, they are looking how well we are retributed. There are, they say, you cannot be paid less than the industry. An inspector, a flight ops inspector in my agency should be at the level of a pilot in one of the companies here. So all these elements are very, strict criteria, and we are assessed based on that. So that's why we need to strengthen the control, strengthen the requirement, implement and enforce the regulatory framework.
Yes, and in this regard, how do you see the potential of Kazakhstan becoming an international destination for international flights? And do you see any possibilities that in the nearest future we will have some direct flights to, let's say, to the USA or other parts of the world?
Yes.
Mainly.
It's a huge potential for Kazakhstan. As I said, the huge touristic opportunity that it's here. It's a very wide country, and a lot of places, from desert to 7,000 high mountains with snow all over the year, with the Caspian Sea and with the desert, with paysages like in Switzerland. You have everything here, and it's a beautiful country with a lot of opportunity, and we need to exploit that. But for doing this, we need also connectivity, and air transport is essential. First of all, internally, the country is perfect for setting up aviation, because you have, between the biggest city, you have more than 1,000 kilometers sometimes. Right. And instead of what we need right now is to invest in infrastructure, security and safety infrastructure of the airports, because, you know, and we are building, which is very good, thousands of kilometers of highways and railways, but with hundreds of kilometers of highway, you can effectively put money and refurbish all the 25 airports that we have, certified airports that we have, and practically open the world, because with an airport with 3-4 kilometers of a runway, you open the world. So once you have good infrastructure in place, this is essential. The second is liberalization of the market. We started the process to liberalize the skies of Kazakhstan. We have a lot of multiple agreements. Right now we are very close to finalize the horizontal agreement with the European Union. Mm-hmm. We have multiple discussion bilaterally and multilaterally to do this happen. But still we need more, and to become more open and more capable to accommodate flights. And of course, the type of airline that we have here, we have Air Astana. It's a flag carrier of Kazakhstan. It's an amazing airline, and I can tell you, because I flew all over the world, it's an amazing airline.
It's just the only one.
It's not the only one, but it's
not literally, but I mean at the level of doing international flights and meeting all the requirements.
It can beat any airline, global airline in the world, and in terms of services, quality of flight, quality of maintenance and everything. But I would love to see them, you know, ordering tomorrow 200 aircraft from Boeing or from Airbus, and starting to expand and make Kazakhstan one of the key player, like Qatar, like Emirates, like, you know, the big international player like Turkish Airlines. So practically this is where we should push. Also, we need to make sure that in terms of full liberalization, we'll be able to increase the number of airline presence here, increase the quality, reduce the price, because competition it's essential as well. Yes. In all this context.
Thank you very much, Mr. Radu, and let's hope that Kazakhstan really becomes an aviation hub for Central Asia and international destination for the world.
Thank you so much, and once again, I really believe in aviation here in Kazakhstan. It's a great country, and I'm sure that the visionary leaders of this country bring us on the right direction, and we are here to support and to help.
Thank you for your time and for your answers.
Thank you.
From the development of the Middle Corridor as a joint goal for the leaders of Central Asian states in Germany to the upcoming Organization of Turkic States Summit in Astana, Kazinform International News Agency presents a review of foreign media coverage about Kazakhstan this week. Let's start from Euronews. It published an article on September 30 covering the first ever summit between the 5 Central Asian states and Germany. In Berlin, leaders from Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan discussed strengthening regional and economic cooperation and the development of the so-called Middle Corridor route connecting the region with Europe, reads the article. Euronews reports the leaders confirmed their interest in developing the Middle Corridor and attracting financing for infrastructure projects under the European Union's Global Gateway Initiative. Georgia's Agenda.ge, an English-language news website, published an article on October 1st about the meeting between a delegation from Georgian Railway with a delegation from Turkey, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan and Romania in Aktau, which focused on the development of the Trans-Caspian international transport route. The meeting participants assessed the results achieved during the first 8 months of the current year, as well as the difficulties encountered in shipping activities amid the evolving geopolitical landscape. Daily Sabah published an article on October 3rd covering a phone conversation between President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The two leaders discussed bilateral relations and regional and global issues. The agency quotes Turkey's communications directorate, which stated the two leaders also discussed topics that may be on the agenda of the upcoming summit of the Organization of Turkic States, which will be held in Astana in November. Malaysia's New Straits Times published an article on October 4th reporting on the meeting between Kazakhstan's Transport Minister Marat Karabayev, Works Minister from Malaysia, and Saudi Arabia's Transport and Road Affairs Deputy Minister. In a statement, Minister Nanta of Malaysia said that he had met both delegations during the 27th World Road Congress in 2023, and he is determined to further strengthen strategic cooperation in the aspects of road safety and maintenance in both countries, reads the article. That's it for the press review this week. We will continue following the most interesting and important media coverage on Kazakhstan and this region. Kazakhstan is among the countries concerned about climate change. Raya Kwon-chung, Nobel laureate and the advisor to the UN Secretary General, has come to Astana again to address climate issues at the platform of the Nobel Fest Forum. Humanity is losing the fight to save the planet, said Mr. Chung, adding that series of natural disasters of this year, from unprecedented forest fires to floods, is a solid proof. Dauren Isagulov spoke to the Nobel laureate and is ready to answer the question, is the situation really that alarming?
Is there a point of no return when the climate change will become catastrophic for us? And I'm talking not only about natural disasters, but the impact on the global economy as well.
Of course. UN Secretary General saying that we are facing collective suicide because we are running on a course of extinction because our survival is at stake. And so the global warming is now becoming global boiling water, so hot. So it's a matter of survival. So it is surprising because much faster than any projections anticipated, we thought this could happen like a 2040 or 2050, but it's already happening. This is why it is a lot more alarming and serious. I think already the global boiling is already past the point of no return.
May I ask this question? How can you parry an opinion of people who say that climate change agenda is just another political game with its own beneficiaries? I do not support this idea, but
I think we have to get out of that kind of groundless some rumors and conspiracy theories, because everybody this year, during the summer, we already suffered from the worst wildfire, drought, and the heat waves. People are dying already. So I don't think we have to wake up from those very funny conspiracy theories, but we have to tackle the reality, because people are dying. That's the reality. So we cannot no longer waste our time for that kind of conspiracy.
In 2016, Kazakhstan signed the Paris Agreement on reduction emission. In 2020, President Tokayev announced the goal to achieve carbon neutrality to 2016. As an expert, how do you evaluate our attempts to achieve these goals?
Unfortunately, I don't see many positive success stories, even in developed countries. Very few success stories. European countries have some examples, success stories, but that cannot be replicated by the developing countries, because developing country lacking money and technology. Actually, this is why I have been promoting the idea of a green growth, green economic growth. So we have to provide the policy options that promotion of renewable energy, transformation to green energy can be an opportunity for economic growth and job creation rather than just burden and cost.
Full version of the interview you can watch via YouTube on Silkway TV channel. Follow the QR code on your screens. And moving on, having a double degree and being taught by the professionals of the film industry and world-known film and acting school is a new promising opportunity for Kazakh students. This is, according to the president of New York Film Academy, Michael J. Young, will become a reality thanks to a cooperation agreement in educational programs with Almaty Management University. This partnership, supported by the Dara Presidential Initiatives Fund, marks a significant milestone in the collaboration between higher education institutions in Kazakhstan and the United States. The agreement focuses on integrating efforts in training highly skilled staff for creative majors and developing creative industries. The signing ceremony was held within the walls of New York Film Academy.
One of the most exciting elements is a dual degree, where students would spend 2 years at AlmaU, and NIFA would receive those students, and they would do an additional 2 years to complete a Bachelor of Fine Arts in film, media, performing arts, and they would receive a degree from both NIFA and AlmaU. I think that's one of the most promising parts of the agreement, but there are many elements, and they're all really about exchange of students, exchange of faculty, exchange of knowledge. Our programs each week give the students new challenges. So there's a scaffolding of learning where they go from little or no experience to coming out of a program with expertise. And they're being taught by industry professionals who are working in the creative industries, bringing that knowledge into the classroom.
The Alem Saz International Music Festival, in its second year in the Kazakh capital, culminated in a spectacular 400 piano performance by the renowned duo from Germany, Pianotainment. Stefan Wehr and Marcel Dorn brought their distinctive blend of various musical genres to the grand stage of the Kazakhstan Concert Hall in Astana. With over 25 years of worldwide recognition, the duo's unique international program has wowed audiences in over 100 countries. Their performance also commemorated German Unity Day, and as artists noted, it also served as a vivid example of cultural diplomacy, acting as a bridge that strengthened the ties between Germany and Kazakhstan. Just before the start of their musical show, we had a heartwarming message from Stefan and Marcel.
Hello to all the viewers of New Time. We are Pianotainment, a piano duo from Germany, and we would like to congratulate the whole team of New Time for its spectacular program and launching this, and all the best for the future. Have a good one.
Well, that's a lovely note to end on. On behalf of the entire New Time team, we extend our sincere gratitude to Pianotainment for their kind words. And that's it for today. This is how we saw this week in Kazakhstan. More news and special projects about our country you can watch on Silkway TV channel. Stay tuned and see you later.